Bullies splashed juice on her shirt now. One's crying in a trash can. The cafeteria was filled with the noise of laughter, clattering trays, and the low hum of teenagers buzzing between conversations. But the moment the carton of orange juice exploded across Lily's white shirt, time seemed to stop. The laughter shifted, sharper now, cruel. The cold liquid soaked through the cotton fabric, clinging to her skin like a stain of shame. Her tray clattered to the floor, its contents splattered beside her sneakers. All around her, eyes were watching, some amused, some indifferent. And one, belonging to the girl who threw at Marissa, the queen bee of the school, lit up with satisfaction. Lily didn't cry, not then. She just stood there, heart pounding, jaw clenched, her fingers curling into her palms. But the real storm was building not in her tears, but in her silence. Because what no one knew was that the girl they just laughed at, the one standing alone and humiliated, was about to rewrite everything. And by the time she was done, someone would be crying. In a trash can. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the strength of quiet resilience, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories that move the soul. Let's spread compassion together. Lily had always been the quiet one, a transfer student who arrived in the middle of the semester with her hair always tied back, oversized sweaters, and a backpack that looked like it had survived a war. She spoke when spoken to, kept her head down, and avoided attention like it was fire. But the thing about high school is, if you don't fit into a mold, you become a target. It started with whispers in the hallway. Rumors about how her father had left, about her mom working 2 jobs, and Lily sometimes showing up with last night's dinner reheated in a thermos instead of buying from the cafeteria. Then came the prank notes in her locker, the cruel nicknames etched in bathroom stalls. Laundry Girl, Dumpster Lily. And finally it escalated into the moment she stood soaked in juice while the world laughed. She spent that lunch period in the nurse's office, wearing a scratchy, lost-and-found hoodie, trying to scrub orange stains from her chest with paper towels. But even the nurse didn't say much. Maybe they were used to it. Maybe no one really looked at Lily as someone worth protecting. She walked home that day under a gray sky, her shoes squelching from the juice, her thoughts heavy. Her mom was already at her second shift, so the apartment was cold, quiet, and dim when she stepped inside. She dropped her bag, sat on the floor of the kitchen, and cried, not just for the juice or the laughter, but for the crushing ache of being invisible and bruised by the world. But the next morning, something shifted. She looked at herself in the mirror before school. There was a softness in her features, yes, but her eyes were not weak. They were tired, yes, but also steady. She remembered her grandmother's words, "Still waters cut the deepest." She didn't need to scream to be heard. She just had to act. And that's when the idea began to take shape. Lily began documenting everything. She used an old phone with a cracked screen that she bought for $20 at a garage sale, hidden in her hoodie, in her pencil case, even in her locker. She placed it strategically recording interactions, cruel jokes, and moments no adult ever seemed to witness. Every comment, every push in the hallway, every laugh when she stumbled it, was all there in silence and pixels. But she didn't plan to expose it just yet. No, she had something better in mind. The next week, she joined the AV club. Quietly, no one noticed. Not even Marissa, too busy snapping selfies and organizing her weekend party. The AV club had access to the morning announcement system, and more importantly, to the projector that aired slides during assembly. Lily learned fast editing, syncing, hiding files where no one would think to look. While the others were busy figuring out the latest gossip, she was building her moment. But it wasn't just revenge. Lily didn't want to hurt anyone. She wanted them to see, to truly see, because beneath her quietness was someone who had spent her life watching, understanding what pain looked like, and deciding enough was enough. It all came to a head during the school's charity assembly. The auditorium was packed. Students filed in with snacks, laughing, texting. Teachers lounged at the back. Marissa sat center row with her crew, tossing her hair and smirking. The slideshow began school highlights, event photos, cheerleading routines. Then the screen glitched. Suddenly the images changed. The first video played with no sound, a slow-motion replay of Lily getting splashed with juice, followed by students laughing in the background. Then a series of clips her bent over her locker, her books pushed from her arms, her name etched in a toilet stall. The auditorium went silent. The laughing stopped. Students looked around, unsure, and then a voiceover began. Lily's voice. She didn't name names. She didn't scream. She told her story. How it felt to be unseen. How even small cruelty can leave deep bruises. How silence doesn't mean weakness. How everyone is carrying something and kindness costs nothing. Her voice trembled once, but it kept going. By the end, the screen faded to black with one message. Before you laugh at someone, ask yourself, what if it were you? There wasn't a sound in the auditorium when the lights came back on. Marissa sat frozen. Her friends looked away. Teachers whispered. Someone in the back clapped. Then another. And another. Soon the room erupted into a standing ovation, not the kind for performance, but for truth. But it didn't end there. The next day, Lily walked into the cafeteria, and for the first time people moved to make space for her. A few even said hello. But what really caught her attention was the scene near the back. Marissa, crying quietly beside the trash cans, shoulders shaking. No one around her, no phone in hand. Just her, broken and alone. Lily walked over, not to gloat, not to return the humiliation, because she knew what that felt like. She knelt down beside her, took a deep breath, and handed Marissa a napkin. That moment changed everything. Marissa apologized, publicly. She stepped down from the cheer team. She began working with the school's counselor to launch an anti-bullying campaign. And Lily didn't become popular. She didn't suddenly win every heart. She became something more powerful, respected, heard, and slowly loved. She ran empathy workshops with the AV Club. And every now and then, someone would whisper in the hallway, "That's Hertha girl who made the bullies cry." But Lily never wanted fame. All she ever wanted was to be seen, to make people look deeper. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs this message. And subscribe to Storystorm for more real, powerful stories that remind us we all matter. Let's create a world where kindness isn't rare but expected. Special request a comment line. What would you have done in Lily's place, and have you ever stood up in silence that roared louder than words? Share your story below.